Liverpool are losing matches because of Konate, and I don't know why more people aren't talking about this, to be honest, but this is something that I'm going to continue to highlight as the season goes on, because the amount of times where I watch a match and I just think Konate is going to concede us a goal and we're not going to win the game, and it's happened so many times recently, it's unbelievable. This season, the amount of examples that I could point to where Konate has given away a cheap goal and it's changed the game completely, or we've lost a goal right at the last minute and not won the game as a result. There was one instance versus Sunderland, an instance versus Chelsea, just ones I can think of the top of my head. Just now against Burnley, who we should be comfortably beating, and then he basically is just all squared up, lets a player run off the front of him and score. Genuinely unbelievable how many times this season Konate has conceded Liverpool goals and points. I think he's probably conceded us over 10 goals this season from mistakes from himself, being too rash, or just being really not in the right position at all, not defending his space well, not getting across into channels where players are running into, and just in general really just not being up to scratch whatsoever. I think this whole contract situation that's been dragging on now with Konate has definitely been affecting him, because we haven't reached an agreement with him where he wants like over 200 grand a week, and we're not willing to pay him that, because to be honest, judging by the performances at the minute, he's definitely not worth that kind of money. And we're currently in a situation where we've got two senior centre-backs that are, Premier League level just about with Konate, and we've got no other centre-backs. Gomez is obviously really injury prone and he's not up to scratch anymore really. He can cover any of those positions, but he's not going to be playing every single week. Van Dijk is basically our only centre-back that we have, because Leone is injured as well, out for the season. So we're being forced to play Konate over and over again. And I think this situation with this contract has meant that basically he's just not putting in the performances that he should be. I think he's on 70 grand a week at the minute. And in reality, I think he wants 250 grand a week or something to stay at the club. But judging by the performances that he's putting in at the minute, there's absolutely no way in hell that we're going to pay him that. Because honestly, even if he's thrown a strop and not putting the work in, he's definitely not going to be playing for Liverpool after this season with the way that he's been playing recently. I think we've probably dropped over 10 points from the mistakes that Konate has made, individual errors leading to goals, or just not defending his box well enough, not defending the space well enough, not defending well on corners, shying away from headers when he should be heading the ball away. I think that was when we played against Brighton, I think it was, when someone scored at the back post in the last kick of the game. Konate literally shies away from the header and doesn't head the ball away, and Liverpool would have got the win. I mean, honestly, the Burnley one was the final straw for me when I saw that. I could not believe, under absolutely no pressure at all, their player has the ball in the midfield, one pass into the channel and bang, it's straight in the goal. And Konate was just absolutely nowhere near it the entire time. Just looks like absolutely incredibly out of sorts. And you just think, Liverpool, it's incredible that we haven't bought another centre-back in this window so far, because really, what are we playing at, to be honest? We miss out on Gahey because we don't want to pay him 300 grand a week, which I mean is fair enough, because we don't want to pay Konate 200 grand a week. But I mean, when you look at the options that we have at centre-back, especially with Leone being out for the season, because I think, to be honest, he would have been playing half the games Konate's been playing, judging by how well Konate's been playing recently, which is not good at all. Liverpool just starting every game 1-0 down at the minute, because Konate is just not there. He's not up to scratch, and it genuinely is really starting to annoy me. We probably could have had 10 more points than we do now, at least, just because of Konate giving away goals that have led to draws that could have, the losses that could have been draws, and draws that could have been wins, just because we're in total control of games, and then we just give them a chance away and they score, because Konate just gives him a chance every single game. I say it to my dad when we watch the games together sometimes. We start every single game 1-0 down. So when we score, I just feel nothing now, because I know that Konate is going to give them a chance and they're going to score. So even if we're winning 1-0 like we were in the Burnley game for basically the entire game, I know that really in my head it's 1-1, because of course Konate will give them a chance. And I just don't think that we can carry on like this. You can't have a player in your team that's going to consistently give away a goal every single game. The amount of games you can go back and watch and go, oh yeah, Konate mistake, another mistake by Konate, out of position, not clearing balls effectively, not covering space, not covering runners, people running off the back of him, not covering crosses. Obviously he makes a lot of good actions as well, but this is the Premier League and you can't afford to be giving away a massive key chance every single game. And people will go, oh yeah, well, he hasn't got a good, solid, efficient right-back partnership this whole season with him. But the amount of times where he'll just have a right-back next to him and he'll be under no pressure and he'll still give a chance away is just unbelievable. I can't believe that more people aren't talking about this, to be honest. Everyone talks about Liverpool not being as good defensively recently. I think the goals we've been conceding and the chances conceded have actually fallen off a cliff recently with the introduction of the new system. Obviously, we're on like a 9-game unbeaten run with a bunch of draws and 3 or 4 wins in there as well. People complaining about the style being boring, but the only person that's conceding us chances now is Konate making mistakes. That's basically the only single time that we actually concede goals. And if you could just buy a centre-back that just doesn't make those mistakes, all of a sudden Liverpool are not conceding any goals at all. And then we'll actually start winning games, because we are still creating lots of chances and scoring some goals. Although I think more goals will come as we become more and more fluid with the new players. Kirk, as I think, has started to bed in really well. I think Frimpong looks like an absolute threat down the right-hand side as well. Looks really, really good. Lots of players performing well. New players coming in. Ekatiké's obviously been really good. Wirtz is coming into his own now. I think the team is really starting to gel and look a lot better, but you cannot afford to be conceding goals every single game from mistakes. And every single game, Konate just looks like he's going to give a goal away, and it's really, really starting to annoy me. I can't believe more people haven't highlighted it. I don't know why pundits are not highlighting this. They obviously have some kind of affinity for Konate where they don't want to pick him out. But honestly, when you look at, I've watched every single Liverpool game multiple times this season, watching them back, and the amount of goals we've conceded because Konate is just not up to scratch this season is unreal. He's costing us points, he's costing us wins and points, and potentially being up there towards the title race, because we should have at least 10 more points than we do now, which would take us comfortably up into that top 4, top 2, top 3 battle, 4 points off Arsenal, if we hadn't just drawn the games that we'd drawn because we're giving away too many ridiculous goals. It's honestly baffling how this has gone on for so long and we've not got someone to swap in for him, especially when he's out of contract at the end of the season and it's obvious we're not going to meet his wage demands. If that's the case, we need to be buying 2 centre-backs immediately. One to play so Konate can be benched, and another one to cover in case the player coming in gets injured or Van Dijk gets injured. What's going to happen if Van Dijk gets injured? We're going to be all over the place. We'll be conceding like 3 goals every single game. So obviously it's a massive problem. Liverpool have obviously got their way of fixing it. Behind the scenes, I'm sure that there's lots of conversations going on about this. But on the pitch, it's not looking good at all. And every single match, you just expect a goal to go in because Konate is going to make a mistake, or he's not going to track a runner, or he's not going to head the ball away, or he's not going to block the cross, or he's just going to lunge into midfield and vacate the space and someone's going to play off the back of him. How many times are we going to let this happen before we make the judgment call and play someone else, buy someone and play them? Because honestly, this can't go on. Liverpool are going to end up with 50 points this season if we keep on conceding a goal every single game like this. We need to be sorting this out. Let me know your thoughts. As always, I appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.